What does it take to become a serial entrepreneur?
99% insanity. And then another 50% persistence. And I know we've gone over 100% there.
Yeah.
I think, look, to start a business, you fundamentally have to disagree with reality. So if you actually define sanity as agreeing on a common reality, like we're all sitting here and we're sitting in a room on a podcast, we all agree that. But if I look over there and go, oh my God, that's an amazing elephant, and you guys both look and go, there's no elephant there. And there isn't, just for the benefit of the podcast. But if I insist there's an elephant there, you guys are going to start going, is he all right? Right? So that's insanity, right?
Yeah.
Similarly with a business. When you're starting a business, you're going, look at this amazing business. And that's in your head. You know, you might not have the follower count. You might not have the company. You might not have the income. You're the only one that's got that viewpoint and reality of what it is that you want to create. And it's totally up to you to bring that into the universe. And it's very empowering, but it's also terrifying and hard work. You have to have an unshakable belief that what you're creating will succeed despite all indications to the contrary. Like no one's going to agree with you, except maybe your mum. But even then, right, she'll be like, you're working too hard or, you know, whatever, right? Look after your health.
Take a rest.
But the truth is that you have to just keep pushing to create what it is you're creating. And, you know, it's very similar, I guess, in personal training and stuff, you know, getting through those barriers and the stops and the reasons why you can't do it. That's what it takes. And you just have to keep going, you know. I think 7 businesses in 14 years is probably a bit much. It's a bit stupid because I haven't really been able to focus on any one.
Yeah.
But having said that, I'm now in a position where I've figured out how to do it. I'm very much focusing on a main one right now. That's going to, or it is exploding. And then I can take the next one and really focus on that one. So, yeah, I don't know what it takes except a lot of persistence and never saying quit.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite quotes ever is, failure is only the excuse we give ourselves in order to give up.
Wow. I like that one.
Isn't that ridiculous? It's not from me, it's from a guy called Hubbard. But failure is just the reason we say that we didn't want to keep going. And when you take that as a viewpoint, it gets things get pretty brutal in your life. You can't.
It hits differently.
It does hit differently. It's like, well, I failed. Well, did you? Or did you just stop trying? You know?
When you question it like that, you really think about it.
Yeah. And you know, this is the thing. I've been in situations in my business where, you know, I've been in the shower in the fetal position just going, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Right? So if I can't podcast swear,
No, you can't.
beep that out.
It's okay.
But, you know, like, what am I doing here? How did I get into this position? And the next thought has to be, okay, well, what can I do about it? What's the next thing I can do? And if you keep persisting along a given path, you will achieve a goal. It might be in a year, it might be in 5 years, it might be in 20 years. But if you don't give up, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Now, that insanity that you speak about, is it knowledge driven as well? Like, is there knowledge behind it, or is it just the insanity part?
No, it's pure insanity, man. No, there is a lot of knowledge. I do huge amounts of reading, huge amounts of study, really trying to work out how people work, how they tick, how to communicate with people, all that sort of stuff. That's all a very important aspect of what I learn. And yeah, on managing companies, for example, my book True Team is all about that. So True Team is all about how to build a group of individuals going along in the same direction.
Yep.
And that's got a lot of distilled knowledge into it. So, but yeah, a lot of training.
What made you write that book?
Couple of things. One, I kept getting asked by people how to run a business.
Yep.
Because I'd done it.
Yeah.
And obviously sold a couple. And there's a lot of difference between building a successful company and selling a company for a profit. It takes a different skill set. But you have to build a company that can survive on its own in order to sell it. Because otherwise you're just buying a job or selling a job, right? Because then you have to work in it for forever.
Yeah.
So building a group of individuals, and True Team's actually an acronym.
What is it?
I knew you were going to ask me.
I got
Totally
this.
radical, unrelenting enterprise of truly enabled, aligned members.
Wow.
Oh, I got to write that one down.
That's a tongue twister, that
I
one.
literally didn't hear anything you said, but that
Sounds awesome.
Sounds mad.
Yeah, so it's all about different points of what makes a true team, and like some of them are you have to have aligned goals. Everyone needs to know the position they play.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like taking and the policy, how do you run? What are the rules of the game? What's your position on the playing field? What's the goal? Now, you think about it. If you were playing a game of, I know you love soccer, when you have a foot that works.
Sorry, football.
Yeah, football, sorry.
There we go.
Soccer. The whole, if there wasn't a goal, like 22 people running around on a field for 2 hours, like, so what, right? But the goal's very real. You've got to get the ball in the other person's net while following about 423 million rules.
Yes.
And those rules create the freedom in the game that makes it exciting. Like if there were no rules and there was no goal and there was no position, there was no barriers, it wouldn't be a game.
Yeah.
You know,
Just be a bunch of people running around.
just be a bunch of people running around. And a game is defined by the freedoms you have, the barriers you have, right? And the purpose that you have. So if you have a high freedom to do what you need to do, you have high barriers and you have a high purpose, you can have an awesome game. Drop any one of those three and you don't have a game. And it's when you start looking at life from this sort of angle, it just becomes more bearable and it's more fun because you go, shit, this is really hard. You go, well, that's what makes it a game. Right?
If it was easy.
If it was easy, it wouldn't be a game. If you go play the worst ranked football team that you've ever played, I can't remember when I was at school, we used to play hockey and we were the best field hockey. We were the best by far in our league. And I remember one game, we won a hockey game 33-0,
Oh my God.
right? A hockey game 33-0.
That's crazy.
After the first quarter, the goalie went, screw this, and took his pads off and just become another forward. Both of our fullbacks came up to the half line and we had like 9 people on the front line. And that's how we just played. You know, it would start, boom, the ball would be on the other end and but at the end of it, we all walked off and went, that was fun, but not really, you know?
Yeah.
The next week, we played a team that was a bit more capable and it was like, 2-1.
Yeah.
That was a much more fun game.
Yeah.
So over the years of being in teams, creating teams, you created an acronym for teams.
Yeah, myself and a friend of mine, Tony Melvin, who is a co-author of the book, definitely. And that really goes into how do you create a team. So everyone needs to know their positions, so you need a team chart. They need to know the rules, so you need policy. They need to be able to you have to keep score. So if you're not tracking weekly key metrics and key statistics of your company, are you really keeping score? Like, do you know how much better you are now than you were last year?
Yeah.
Or 3 months ago? Or is it worse? And then using those statistics, work out, well, what should we do next?
Yeah. What's going wrong?
Yeah. And it takes a lot of guesswork out of the company. Like StoreConnect, we probably track about 60 different metrics on a weekly basis, maybe more, maybe
Wow.
70.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Every person in the company has a statistic for their post that measures their production. They report that. And that's across all 3 of my companies. So across all 3 companies, we'd probably track 200 plus metrics a week,
Oof.
every week. Yeah.
So just a bunch of Excel spreadsheets.
No, it's all in that's why I wrote Metapulse, which is an online software product
Yeah.
that tracks all those statistics and tracks the org chart. So I actually wrote the software product so I could run and build my businesses with it
No way.
because it didn't exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you made it for yourself.
Yeah. So I made Metapulse, which is the world's first growth management system. So, you have customer relationship management systems and you have content management systems and things like this. Well,
This was
Metapulse
for
is a
growth.
GMS, growth management system. It manages growth. We have a $1 billion company using it in the USA. They have 7,000 staff,
Wow.
all logged into it, all reporting
Wow.
their statistics on a weekly basis, some daily, like the sales teams.
Yep.
And they've built their business through it.
Wow. So it's just fully managing their growth, able to see all the statistics and kind of develop
And
a
drill
bit more-
down.
Yeah. Be more of a plan.
Like their head of revenue can bring up the sales graph for the last week or
Wow.
2 weeks, see that it's dipped on Thursday, right, compared to last week Thursday. and click into it and see all the graphs that make that up and see that it's actually South America that's dipped, click into that, see that it's team number B that's dipped, click into that, find out that sales rep A is the one that isn't performing, and go and fix it. Now, it might not be that sales rep A's done anything wrong. You know, he calls up and finds out that sales rep A's phone just got cancelled by accounts up in North America, right? It's not sales rep A's fault. Good.
Yeah.
I can now fix that. And that then reverts the graph. So it becomes really, really powerful when you start applying that sort of idea to a business. Any business can do it from any size. You don't have to be a billion person.